Hello, everybody. I'm going to be reading from Luke chapter 14, verse 12 to 24. It's the story of the great banquet, and a parable. It's called a parable, and a parable is basically a story that Jesus told in the Bible to Pharisees or people to bring across a message. And he did that in a way that engaged them and gave them a better understanding. So I'm going to read this. He said also to the man who'd invited him, "When you give a dinner or a banquet, do not invite your friends or your neighbors or your relatives or rich neighbors, lest they also invite you in return and you be repaid. But when you give a feast, invite the poor, the crippled, the lame, the blind, and you will be blessed, because they cannot repay you, for you will be repaid at the resurrection of the just." When one of those who reclined at the table with him heard these things, he said to him, "Blessed is everyone who will eat bread in the kingdom of God." But he said to him, "A man once gave a great banquet and invited many. And at the time for the banquet, he sent this servant to say to those who had been invited, 'Come, for now everything is ready.' But they all alike began to make excuses. So a man gave a great banquet and invited many people, and he told the servant to come out and share the invites and see the responses. But they all began to make excuses. The first said to him, "I've bought a field and I must go out and see it. Please excuse me." And another said, "I've bought 5 yoke of oxen and I'm going to examine them. Please excuse me." And another said, "I have married a wife and therefore I cannot come." So the servant came and reported these things to his master. Then the master of the house became angry and said to his servant, "Go out quickly to the streets and the lanes of the city, and bring in the poor, the crippled, the blind, and the lame." So these rejections by the man who was holding the banquet, so he goes out, and instead he tells the servant to bring the poor, the crippled, the lame, and the blind. And the servant said, "Sir, what you commanded has been done, and still there is room." And the master said to the servant, "Go out to the highways and the hedges, and compel people to come in, that my house may be filled. For I tell you, none of those men who are invited shall taste my banquet." So that's sort of the story. You can find that in Luke chapter 14, verse 12 to 24. It's about the parable of the great banquet. Is this just a story? Just a random story about a man inviting random people because